G'day guys and welcome back to AdosTheGreat YouTube channel. So guys, in today's video I'm going to be covering 10 players that you guys need to watch out for, or that I'm going to be watching out for in this weekend's preseason action. So that's one player from every game that I am excited to see. Now, actually, before we get into this video, how good is this shirt? Shout out to Denon Kemp from Bloke in a Bar. This is a bloke shirt, and I like that. You know what I don't have with me, and I'd love to get around, is a bloke beer. Bloke beer. Don't take it out of context. But shout out to Denon Kemp and the boys at Bloke in a Bar. This is a clean fit. I got this and other shirts as well from the 50% off sale. So shout out to Kempy for putting that on. And also, Kempy, I tell you what, maybe give me a sponsor, mate. I'm joking, but if you ever did, mate, I'd be over the moon. But yeah, guys, very excited to jump in and see how we go. See what you guys reckon about these picks. Now, I know I talk a lot about players like Paul Alamotti, Blakey Moser, Sean Blaw, I guess. There's several players. Siwa Wong. I'm going to try and steer clear of those players today. So these are 10 players that I'm very excited to see, and a short reasoning as to why. I don't want to keep you guys for too long. And I certainly don't want to be recording this for too long because I got out of work late today. I wanted to have this video done by 4 o'clock, uploaded, ready to go, but it is now 4:43. So yeah, I've got to try and rush through this. So starting off with the Tigers and Warriors game, starting in about 15 minutes, I've gone with Justin Matamua. Very excited to see what he can offer. He's the sort of ball-playing lock the Tigers have been looking for. So I'm very excited to watch him tonight and see how he goes. I think he will probably be in their best 17 at some point this year. I don't know whether it'll be round one, because you've also got Joe Offahengawi going for that 13 jersey as well, unless he gets the starting front rower spot. I'm not too sure. You've also got Johnny Bateman coming over. So, yeah, look, I think this is the time for Justin to try and impress, and I hope he does that tonight. So he is my first player. All right, in the Knights and Sharkies game, I've got ex-Newcastle Knight and Newcastle Junior, Max Bradbury, on my list. Now, I tell you what, the Knights fans have been heartbroken about this young fella leaving. And, to be honest, I'm not going to lie, I haven't really heard of him until this whole trade thing went down. So I'm excited to see what all this fuss is about. Can't wait to see what the young fella can offer. And I tell you what, if he digs deep and plays real well, then the Sharks have done. I think they've won this trade, to be honest, because this is sort of a win now trade, sort of, for the Knights. Like, it's to fix some issues they've got in their spine, and for the Sharkies, they get possibly a very good career front rower. So I think it's a great signing for the Sharks there. At this point in time, I'd say it's probably win-win, but who knows? In a few years' time, we might be talking about this, saying the Knights lost that trade terribly and the Sharkies won it. All right, next up, my Rabbitohs. There's obviously a few players I'm very excited to see in this one, but I'm going Tallis Duncan. Now, he is a hard-hitting forward. I just love what he brings. He's brings a lot of energy to the field as well. Hypes up the boys. I think he's a good player on and off the field. I think we're in for a real treat with Tallis Duncan there for the Rabbitohs. Can't wait to see how he goes. So I'm very excited there. There's obviously some other players, being a Rabbitohs fan, I would like to see. Benny Lovett is another one. Kalo, Yosaya Karapani. Like, there's several players I'm excited to see. But to be honest, Tallis Duncan is kind of at the top of the list at the moment. All right, next up, Isaiah Iongi. Now, this is for the Panthers-Eels game, if you couldn't guess already. I reckon we're going to see a really good player here. Kempy's been going on about Iongi for a while now. I believe he reacted to some highlights a little while ago, and I think he also got him on the podcast too. So do let me know if I'm wrong there, but I'm pretty sure he did. So, yeah, I'm very excited to see how he goes. And it also sort of, I think this is the route Penrith will go If, say, Edwards gets injured or something, I think Leong is the future fullback for the Panthers, if I'm being completely honest with you. And I can't wait to see what he has to offer this weekend, not tonight. My apologies. For the Dragons, obviously, I'm not going to pick a St. Helens player. There's a few players I am keen to see, but from the Dragons, I'm going Josh Corrich. Now, I may have pronounced that name wrong. I'm sorry if I butchered your name, mate, but I am super hyped to see how well he goes. I've heard big things about him, and he might be on that edge of knocking one of the experienced front rowers or forwards out of that lineup or onto the bench in favour of him. Because from what I've heard, he is an absolute weapon. So I can't wait to see what he's got on show for us this weekend. All right, over to the Storm and the Roosters game, arguably the game of the round. Now, there's plenty of players you could pick in this one, but I've gone Jonah Pizzette. Now, if you guys listen to Kempy on Bloke in a Bar or Rugby League Guru, you'd know that these guys have been pretty high on Jonah Pizzette, a Newcastle junior, I believe, that came through the ranks and got signed up by the Storm. He absolutely carved up in the junior state of origin last year, and I just think he's going to be an absolute weapon for Melbourne. So I can't wait to see him. Now, I believe he is named off the bench, so I reckon he'll get a fair few minutes. So I'm very excited to see what he's got to offer and what all this fuss is about. But very excited to see how well Jonah goes. All right, the Raiders game, we've got Brad Moorcross. Now, Brad made his debut for Lebanon in the World Cup, so that's huge. Like, he's already played international footy, so that's massive. I rate this guy. I think all the Raiders have a lot of talented centres. I reckon he wouldn't be too far off cracking that starting squad at some point in 2023. So watch this bloke. If there's injuries, if there's suspensions, or for some reason a player gets selected for Origin, I reckon he'll be close to making it into the team. All right, for the Cowboys, now again, there's a lot of players we could look at here. Sadruga, who I am very excited to see. There's other players that I'm excited to see for the Cowboys, but my top one is Tommy Chester. So Chester can play fullback in the halves and potentially dummy half as well. He's a very versatile player, and I'm also hearing that there's a good chance he'll get the number 14 jersey for them as well. So if he has a good game this weekend, he's pretty much locked that in. So I'm very excited to see how he goes. I cannot wait. Let me know, guys, are you a fan of Tommy Chester? We've seen a little bit from him in the NRL last year, but definitely not enough to rate him at this point of time. I think these trials will be a perfect exhibition match for him to show how good he can be, and he is named in the fullback jersey. So very excited to see Tommy Chester. All right, from the Broncos and Titans game, I've got Haas, and not Payne Haas. I've gone with Cleese Haas. Titans forward, I cannot wait to see how he goes. He is the brother of Payne, and I am very excited to see him go up against his brother. They're both playing against each other. I can't wait for that. I think that's just mouth-watering footy. I hope that Cleese goes out there and rips and tears, because I know he can. So Cleese Haas is my player from the Titans. All right, over to the Indigenous All-Stars. Now, this one is a very mainstream, not so original pick. I've gone with Jermaine Hopgood. Now, for plenty of reasons. Number one, I just want to see him get out there. And, we've seen a few games from him in the Panthers squad last year. We know he can match it with some of the best in the NRL, but, we haven't seen enough of him. So I think this All-Stars game is definitely a platform for him to do well, and I am very excited to see him. He's starting at lock, so I can't wait to see him get out there, rip and tear, and hopefully we see a bit of magic from Jermaine Hopgood. All right, guys, that's pretty much going to do it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, guys, please do remember to leave a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. I do a lot of NRL content over here. If you're not over, you're overseeing the NRL. I also do other sports content, and I do the occasional reaction video. Most of the time, it's to music, and most of the time, unless it's an artist I like that drops a track, it'll be to a subscriber recommendation. So make sure you hit the subscribe button, guys. Help me out. Looking to get 4,000 subs by the end of July. That is the goal. And then 5,000 subs by the end of the year would be amazing. But anyway, guys, that is going to wrap it up from me. Enjoy the footy this weekend. Thank you all so much for tuning in. And as always, my friends, I will see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.